Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live. As always, my name is Josh Lillquist. On the last segment, we covered a couple different topics on the markets. So great overall opportunities in these markets, whether they're going up, everybody knows that, and if they're going down. So it's using the same strategy, just a little bit different directions. And that's one of the great things about Online Trading Academy. Over 26 years, we've been teaching this strategy, teaching people just like you how to get in the markets with investing in the markets for longer term or trading for short term for income strategies, but doing that together as a community and a group, especially locally here, right here in Bloomington. And we have investing classes to introduce you to a lot of the concepts and techniques that we're talking about here on the show here today. It's a 2-hour class locally here in Bloomington. We do those on Saturdays. We do these during the week. We also have them on the weekends, so in the evenings, so anybody can attend. It's just which one is right for you. Text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats. A couple things here. When you text that number in, you're going to get a text right back, and there'll be a link in there. It'll say, welcome to the show here, and there'll be a link so you can pick your own date. We have them out for a couple weeks here, so that way, I know busy lives. Kids are back to school now. Things might be slowing down. It might be time to focus on your finances for your kids in the future. Sometimes people want to leave a legacy, and the best time to start that is right now. Text investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats for an investing class to get started to your goals or objectives with your finances. So on this segment here, Al, I want to talk about a couple things. They don't teach a lot of things in school that we really need in our lives. Right. One, we were just talking before the segment here, and one is really how to achieve your dreams. School has you growing up and, teaching you memorization. And I'm not trying to put school down. You got to have that. But there's things that they're missing out on. Mm-hmm. Is they're teaching how to be an average person and do what everybody does. Go to school, then go to college and go get a 40-hour-a-week job or a 50-hour-a-week job and have a 401k. And then at one point, hopefully you retire at 70 years old. Well, that's a long time to be average. And we're seeing a lot of people that are coming to the academy here, and that's what they're putting their foot down. They're saying, I don't want to be just average. Right. So you have to do things differently. If you think about that, if we're teaching everybody in school to be average, there's a small select few, and it's probably about 5% of the public that actually are financially stability, have that financial security, and they can do everything that they want to do. 5%. Now, it's not because they're rocket scientists. It's not because they're geniuses. It's because they were comfortable being uncomfortable, which means doing something that not everybody else is doing. And that's what I like about some of the things that we do here at the Academy is not everybody knows how to get in the markets. And we introduce people to get started on how to do it the proper way. Another thing they don't teach in school is exactly that, finances, how to trade and invest. There are finance classes, yes. There are economics classes, but they don't teach and train how institutions trade and invest. And that's what we do here at the Academy is strategies that are designed to follow those institutions, trade like them, and that's the goal is to be, and that's what's funny, as you always tell your kids, you don't have to be like everybody else. Be different. Be yourself. Well, be different and reach those goals that you have. If you have financial goals, you might have to do things a little bit differently. So they don't teach this in school, and that's why we exist. We've been doing this for over 26 years. We've been teaching people the skills and techniques on how to trade, invest, short-term trade for income strategies, and longer-term wealth strategies, not just 401k, IRA, but how to do that based on your terms, not your advisor, not your brokers, and not being a sheep and being like everybody else. So, Al, I want you to discuss some of the different things that we do here at the Academy that may sound a little bit contradictory because they don't teach us in school, and that's why we exist. Talk about some of those things, and then I want to get into more how we can help people get started on their own path.
Yeah, and it's not just what's not taught in school. Even if there are some schools that are putting some kind of financial programs together. My concern is that they're teaching it the wrong way, and that could be even worse because not only are we kind of taught in school to be average, just to kind of get by, do things that we can get by with, we can pay our bills, have a little bit of money for retirement, But that's how investing has been taught by a lot of people too. Just learn to put your money into something that you hold on to long term. Don't worry about these corrections or crashes. Just hold on long term and you'll be fine. That's not how you create wealth. That's not certainly not how you generate income. What we do at the Academy, and we've been doing this for 26 years, Josh, as you know, we have really kind of fine-tuned things, and we do things differently than you're going to find with a lot of other financial education sources. And part of it is doing something that might be counterintuitive to what your emotions are telling you. We know as a human being, we're born with emotions that get in our way as traders and investors. That's going to be, you are going to become your own worst enemy. And you have to control that. And typically what happens, because you're a human being, you do exactly the opposite of what you should do to be successful. And you know who knows that and takes advantage of it? Wall Street does. They trade on the emotions of the average person.
And it's almost they're preying on the public because they don't teach this in school.
Well,
that is why. They know that.
They know that. And whatever you do learn, and a lot of the things that people learn are what we call technical indicators, or learning to look at fundamentals. Wall Street knows how the public reacts to everything you can learn out there. Every book you can see in the library or Barnes & Noble that has a strategy, Wall Street knows how the public responds to that, and they can take advantage of it. I hate to use the word lie, but are you lied to? Is there a possibility that Wall Street might be lying to you to get you to do something that benefits them?
Well, where do we get that information from?
We get it
the news.
We get it not only from the information you get from the news, and
do they lie? I won't answer. I won't have you answer that, but let's just keep that as a thought out there.
Okay, well, let me simplify this. People lie. People can lie. Facts don't lie.
Okay.
So if you can concentrate on what factually impacts something, why not do that and not listen to somebody that might be trying to get you to do something that they can take advantage of?
So where do you get those facts from?
The facts are on a price chart.
Okay.
And a price chart is like a story, like a short story about whatever you're looking at investing in. In that price chart,
it could be Apple. It could be S&P 500. It could be Tesla, anything.
And it could be a futures contract or a Forex contract or an options contract or a cryptocurrency. Whatever the asset is, there's going to be a chart that has what we call a candlestick chart that has information that you can use to your benefit. That information, when you see the price of something, that's factual. And that price reflects basically everything that you need to know about a company or an asset.
Yep.
But what you need to know is the most important thing. If you're going to invest in something, it has to move a certain direction for you to benefit, right? If you buy something, it has to go up for you to benefit.
Yep.
Why does it go up in price? Does it go up in price because Josh bought shares of something or Al bought shares of something? No, it goes up because Warren Buffett might buy millions of shares of something, or Goldman Sachs might buy millions of shares. These are billionaire, trillionaire organizations that have enough clout to move the price of something. The great thing for us is that they show us on a price chart what they're doing so we can take advantage of it. Let them do the work, and we'll just follow. But you have to know how to find that.
Yep, and that price chart is where you find that. And you teach a lot of these investing classes here locally, and I'm glad you introduced that to everybody here today, because you actually show what a price chart looks like.
Yep.
What represents a price chart? There's candlesticks, and how does it actually work? How do you read that short story like Al was talking about? So to come into one of these classes, just text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats for this class. When you do that, you get a text right back, and you can pick your own date. We have these during the week. We have them the weekends, in the evenings also as well. So you can find a time that works best for you, but only if you don't want to be average. Text investing to the number 210 right now. So shifting gears a little bit, one of the things I want to talk about real quick, Al, is why we're getting so busy right now. I've been seeing so many people come in lately that want to be part of a community, or like you said, a country club, or a group of investors and traders that are doing the same type of thing. Not all these different crazy strategies. As a matter of fact, we had just recently one of our existing students that came in, and they went somewhere where it was like an online seminar that came into town, and it was, they're selling online classes and, giving all these different things. And he was like, you know what? how am I going to learn? I forget his age, 56, 55, 50 some years old maybe, and or maybe it was 60s. How am I going to learn this when it's all online? I'm not real tech savvy, and I wanted a community. So he came here to Online Trading Academy to check it out. And you can talk a little bit more how impressed he was about a live community, live classrooms, computers where you can actually do it and be taught and mentored and guided through that. Talk about why it's so important to have a community behind you, but also in-person learning for us as adults.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is the motivation that you get from other people. That's really valuable. But that hands-on, that face-to-face experience with people. And here's the other thing: you can read a book, you can listen to a webinar, or you can go to a seminar. You can get all this information told to you, words that maybe only 10% of what you hear actually is stored in your mind. But then when you actually sit down, you start to do something, you start to get active, all of a sudden, some of the things that you should have remembered, you don't. Or maybe something happens that wasn't covered in what you just heard. Mm-hmm. What we do here, and I think this is one of the things that really sets the Online Trading Academy apart, is that we have a physical location with real people, real live people that you can sit with, and then they can help you. And one of the things that we do in our classes, we think the most important thing is actually starting to do this. Even if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to be using your own money, but you're going to be trading live, using live market data. That's where you want to make your mistakes, but you want to do that in a setting where there's somebody there watching you, that's standing over your shoulder, or you can raise your hand and say, "Hey, what did I do wrong here? What did I do right here?" It's like teaching one. You have a son that you're going to teach at some point in time how to drive a car. Yep. You cannot teach him how to drive. Yeah, it's scary, isn't it? You can't teach them how to drive a car by just sitting in the driveway and not having the car move. Mm-hmm. You have to turn the engine on. You have to take it out of park and move the car.
Probably start in a parking lot as well.
A parking lot's a great place to do that. You don't want to start out in the middle of 494.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good place. Well, that is kind of a parking lot some days.
Some days it is. But it's getting your hands dirty, so to speak, but doing it with somebody that can point out what mistakes you're making and what you're doing right. So when you start to invest your own money, you've already gone through the mistakes. You know what not to do and what to do. And if something happens that you're not familiar with, or that just kind of comes out of left field or right field that you're not aware of, hey, call or just come in and say, "Hey, how do I handle this situation?" We're going to help you put together a plan that should cover all the situations that are out there, so you don't ever have to sit there and go, "What do I do now?"
Yep.
But if you do, you've got a place to come. You have a human being to sit with and help you to get through whatever that situation is.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about being in a community is you get that hands-on and one-on-one support if you need it. I mean, we got several support specialists here that are helping people, be guided through the markets, and especially if you're brand new to the markets, that's a great thing because then we can guide you, and there's nothing really to untrain. That doesn't mean we can't train people that have traded before and haven't had the consistency, but we just need to do things a little bit differently. So we need to get out of our comfort zone and find out, what do you need help with? So what are you looking for in the markets? And then how do we get you there? And Al was talking about, how do we put together a path for that? And where it starts is these investing classes. And one of the great things in the comments that we've been hearing is, there's not thousands of people. As a matter of fact, a comment from that person was there was thousands of people there. And he mentioned, it was such a small percentage of people that actually were doing something with them. That was kind of concerning. And that's one of the things that we do differently here as well. There's not thousands of people that are coming into these classes. We'll have that's why we do several of them. And that's because we're local, we can do that. We
intentionally hold down the number of people so we can have more interaction with them.
Yeah, and plus because we do several per week, then it's not everybody at one time, and then you can get lost in the rough when there's too many people. We keep them small so you have that small atmosphere of your learning and your process there. So just text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats for this class. It's locally here in Bloomington. We do these during the week, the weekends, also in the evenings. So when you text in, you're going to get a text back with a link to pick your own date. We'll also get you a call to make sure we find the date for you that works best for you. Text investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats. Coming up next, I want to talk a little bit more about some income strategies and some wealth strategies in the markets. There's great opportunities. Now is the time to take advantage of them. This is Josh and Al. We will be right back.